Mr. Max is going to have a word of prayer for us.
Let's pray. Dear God, thank you for this opportunity to come before you, Lord. Thank you for this group of people, Lord, that help serve our community. Lord, I pray that you keep your hand over this meeting. I pray that you give us a spirit of wisdom. Lord, thank you again for all your many blessings and for those that have served and protected our great country. Lord, I pray that you continue to guide us and lead us, Lord, and it's in your precious and holy name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, next roll call, Sylvia is out. I think she had a speaking engagement that she was related to. So, next on the agenda will be the approval of the 2018-2022 law enforcement committee meetings. It's a pleasure. Have a motion to approve, second. Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Next will be the reports, animal control.
She was not able to check out the
Her
The
report
information is in there, and certainly she can come back or you can individually again if you have a specific question. We did some adjusting down there structural-wise several months ago, and I think it's really made a difference in the amount of complaints we're getting and maybe the transactions, you might say, in and out of there. And it's not a perfect system under the best of circumstances, but it really was not, it was kind of hatched wrong from the beginning. So several months ago we did a facelift, and I think it's made a big difference for us.
Any other questions about animal control concerns? Next will be the sheriff's department's report. Sheriff's Son's here.
Okay, John, you've got this top report, which, once again, almost 2,000 miles a day on patrol, 779 warrants served, 198 arrests. I'm not going to get off on anything in the jail because I have the jail administrator, Ron Prince, with me, and he has that information as well as Linda's on the work crews. In October, this past October, the Drug Task Force report, the investigations, which some are still ongoing, 4 firearms have been seized, $513 in illegal drug proceeds, marijuana, crystal meth, obviously some of the drugs that have been taken, 222 doses of controlled prescription medications, most which are suspected to be fake pharmaceuticals containing fentanyl, 28 grams of heroin / fentanyl were confiscated, and a total of 14 defendants. That's just in October. In the courtrooms and court, actually there was 1 week that they didn't hold court. So that being said, in October there were 34 court sessions. On the docket, 1,190 people were on the docket. And in the month of October, a total of 5,421 people came through the justice center. And I do have something else to bring up, but before I do that, I think I'll let Ronald give you his report.
So for the month of October, we had a total, or an average total of 289 inmates incarcerated. Our highest total was 305, and our lowest total was 271. We had a total of 273 work crews go out. Total of inmates on that work crews are 441, and they worked for a total of 168 hours, saving the county $35,208.
Don't you want to say something?
I did. I just thank you.
Amen.
We, as you know, the administrator, Ron, and his lieutenant, it's not just containing people and keeping them while they're serving their debts to society, but we also have really gotten in here, and I say William, again, I give the credit to Ron Prince and his staff of education, of different programs. Obviously, we've got some working at Tyson Foods, and a lot of things going on now. We're not naive enough to think that we're gonna get to each and every one. But if we can get to some of them, that's better than none, because right now, they really, most of them don't have a lot of, I hate to say hope, but anyway, they don't, sometimes they just go right back into where they come out. It's just a cycle, and that's gonna continue to some, I mean, it's not gonna change. But we do try to help the ones that want help. Are we gonna have glitches? Yeah, I'm expecting that any time, but, it's gonna happen. That's just part of this business. Now, with that being said, we are wanting to get tablets into the jail system. Now, this is not an ordinary tablet like you and I might go and buy at Circuit. I don't know if it's a Circuit City anymore, but Walmart, whatever.
There you go.
I'm behind times, you know. And the reason I'm bringing this up, we've got to enter a 3-year contract, which will mean it has to go in front of the county commission, but I want to bring it up to this committee first. I will say it's no money, no charge for the county or the sheriff's department, and actually there'll be some income to come in off of them. But it just seems like it's limitless to what we can do with these things, and we have complete control. We're not responsible if they get torn up, anything like that. But again, without getting into it too deep before maybe we go in front of the county commission, I just wanted basically to get y'all's recommendation to do that.
And if I can, they had brought me down and talked to me a little bit about the programming process. There's a lot of let me make sure I'm saying the right thing, and you backfill what I'm saying, but there's some real educational opportunities for these folks with this idle time. I know all the way back, this is how old I am, back to the 80s when the inmates used to be in the old rock jail. When I went to jailer school, they talked about, if you don't have some carrot stick to help manage people, you take everything away from them, you do nothing with them, you have no leverage whenever they decide to act up or act out. So there's a huge education piece here. I feel like there's a lot of enrichment opportunities, even beyond maybe what we're thinking about today with that concept. But I also say that I really think it would be a tool for the system to help encourage people to follow the rules, or to, because
That's a big part of it.
you can say that they're in a room and they can't get out. Well, that's a neat idea. They're in the room, they can't get out. But when you get in, they're going to get you. Or they're going to disrupt or tear up or throw up or whatever they're going to do. And so I think there's multiple reasons to think about why, if nothing else, the educational and the tool that it would assist our correctional officers in having order and discipline within their system. And then what would you say are the other big things that jump out as an administrator that you're dealing with every day?
Yes, sir. Like you said, it would work on it would cut down on people trying to tear up the cells because of whatever reason. They have 24 hours a day to sit there and think of what they can do to make their time go by. So sometimes they'll draw on the walls, sometimes they'll tear up loading and stuff. And so hopefully with this, along with the education part of it, it will limit the amount of destruction that they cause.
It's just like a child, if you misbehave, we're gonna take it. And it can be turned off without even touching it.
And I got a couple of questions. One, I know you say it's no cost to the county, but somewhere, somebody's paying for something. Where is the
Service charge to them.
It's a service charge to the inmate.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And they have to accept that or not accept it?
Yes, sir.
Or they want to take that on again when they get out of jail?
Yes, sir.
Well, somebody's got to arrange for it. The payment comes monthly or whatever.
Yes,
right?
sir.
And so if
Like
they
their
don't stay
family's got to put
current.
their money on their books
Okay.
in order for them to get this.
Something.
Yes, sir.
And in that too, it's educational, and is that education directed by somebody? I mean, we just don't throw out math problems and they get on an iPad. I mean, I know Linda works with the juveniles.
I'm
And we've
not
got
sure how his work, but most of these come with progressive programs, so that they have to reach a level before they get to
Before
the
they get
next
to the
level.
next level.
And I'm sure Ronnie and maybe Chris too have looked at, you know, somebody to monitor and help them with some stuff, so.
And-
There's so many things out there that can be plugged into these things with nothing else, just basic math skills and
Yeah, any
reading
education they get is
skills.
gonna be better than nothing at all.
And they can prep for their GED, for
Yes,
those that don't
yes.
have it, so there's some real
And
reasons to
and-
think about with this.
Some of our cartridges are foreign language cartridges too,
That's a good point.
so, you know,
And we
whatever
can,
you wanna put in them.
we can have somebody here that, can answer any and all questions
Yes,
at the county commission meeting, if you want.
But it's a subscription, the inmate or their family or what have you pay for that, and if they don't pay like they're supposed to, the system's cut off, has nothing to do with us. But if you guys need to intercede because somebody's acting out or they acted some kind of way or whatever, you have controls and so does the back-end company that's monitoring everything that's going on with these devices, is that right?
yes, sir.
And they install everything that would be required hardware-wise for their system to work in your facility.
Yes, sir. So, some companies require that they run off of our Wi-Fi. This company is gonna come in, put in their own stuff, and that way it's capable of running.
Right. And our juvenile, you know, that was
We're in the, all of my from the schools too.
Let me ask you this, will they be able, I know a lot of them read books,
Yes, sir, they can read books off their tablet.
they approve books and stuff, and so that makes it safer for y'all. You don't have to go through the books to make sure contraband's not coming in and stuff.
Yes, sir, our plan is to cut the books out completely, because they'll be able to purchase those off of the tablets. Yes, sir.
And there'll be, y'all, or you have the option to allow them to watch some movies and stuff, but you can rate those movies and say, hey, you're not gonna watch that kind of
Yeah,
movie.
PG
or
or
what
G
have
or
you.
whatever.
And so, again, you know, you gotta give them a little bit of
Based
enrichment
on-
and.
Based on their behavior.
Yeah, right, that's what I'm saying, but it really becomes a tool for you that I was surprised that you don't have any leverage at the moment, the way the system is set up. So I think there's a value in that piece of it, especially when it comes to us.
Yes, sir. Right now, we have nothing to keep them, nothing to keep them in line and stuff.
No incentive to, yeah,
Yeah, they break off the sprinkler, okay, what are you gonna do to them? I'm in jail anyway.
yeah, yeah.
There's
Or
really-
sorry. We charge them with vandalism, but, you know.
They already in there,
They're already
so
there.
so give me 6 more months, because I got 8 years.
I agree. Let me, before, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
So, you know, I mean, I have a few more questions too. I mean, I hear everything that you're saying and I agree with you, on your points. I guess, you know, the financial piece is one concern, and we've kind of addressed that. You know, another concern for me is, will these tablets be locked down from an internet use standpoint? It sounds like they may. But you know, I'm kind of old school too. I want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to rehabilitate the inmates and set them on the right path, without a doubt. But I also don't want it to make it a playground for me. So, I think that, you know, giving them a toy to use is not something that I would go for. Giving them a tool to use is something that I would consider.
Correctional facilities are using, this is correction based, so we're not the only ones in the country. I mean, this isn't something they come dreamed up out of the system, so. But again, yeah, people have mixed feelings, there are people that, there ain't no question, there are people in the community that feel like they shouldn't have anything.
Yeah.
Not even a blanket, but guys, there's gonna be some reasonable expectation, for the level of what that is. But we have a chance to help with their education and help our folks. I certainly think it's worth getting in front of the commission to answer their questions and whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree, to an extent. I just, you know, I just want to make sure that it is a tool that they would use.
Let me ask one other question. I know they said there was a 3-year contract. Does Robert, I think you and Robert have to agree on this contract. Has that been read?
Robert is gonna work with them, and we had talked about in advance that he's gonna need to evaluate that and look at it, but what triggers the commission actually acts, and it's not just being a purchasing decision, not a mayor decision, but a purchasing decision, is the fact that it's more than a one-year contract. So because it's a 3-year contract, it's got to come before you, not that it shouldn't, not that you can't know about it if you want to, but what particularly puts it in your venue is the fact that it's 3 years. But yes, Robert will review that, he'll work with them, it has to meet all the state standards and requirements. Is there any other counties in the state of Tennessee that's using the particular company that you're looking at?
Warren.
Yes, sir.
I've been,
Okay. And so, and how
I mean,
many,
there's
they
others
have,
too
good
that's
success?
close.
Are they successful so far in Warren County?
Ronald, I think, has talked to it, I haven't.
Well, my understanding is that they love the talents. One, is helping the inmates, but two, they're not tearing up the facility like they was before they didn't have anything at all. So it's saving their county a little bit of money on that part.
I'm good. I mean, if they're tearing up the facility, that seems like another issue altogether. I mean, that the tablet's not gonna cure somebody tearing up the facility, so.
well, I know time, it's a
Yeah.
interesting thing. Yeah, it's an interesting point.
I had one more thing, with the tablet thing also, if they misbehave, that's one of those things where we can say, hey, you're misbehaving, you're gonna lose your access to the tablet for so many days or months or whatever. So just if they continue to tear stuff up, we can restrict their, use of things like that.
And I assume they have to act in a certain manner in order to even get the tablet to start with, right?
Yeah, they can be
We're not
shown
gonna
how.
hand every inmate a tablet, right?
I'm sorry?
Are we gonna hand every inmate that comes in a tablet?
Yes, sir, everyone over would get a tablet.
Well, that's if they buy the subscription and pay,
Yeah.
right? If they don't get it, then who's gonna pay for their subscription?
No, there's, the stuff that's on there that, the education stuff's gonna be free. But like the movies and stuff like that, that's gonna have to come with a cost, and their family's gonna have to pay for that. If not, they just don't get those items.
That sounds like a teacher dealing with an unruly student, you gotta have.
Exactly, exactly.
Is that really true?
Hey,
Michelle, how you feel about that?
I didn't have any.
She took my Hot Wheels up, that's what she did. So, that's okay. But anyway. So,
Matchbox cars.
So,
Yeah.
So, by the time commission comes, assuming this body wants to send it on the commission even without a recommendation, we will get a representative and Robert will be prepared to, weigh in on your concerns about the contract and making sure it's meeting all the state requirements and be able to answer you guys' questions. Unless this body wants to study it a month. Again, you're gonna have to have that information, so, but they believe they can have it available to you by the commission, that's right? Have your stuff ready to go by then.
So we're not under a 30-day notice, do it or lose it or anything like
No,
that?
no, whatever you need. I mean, if we can get it in next month, we'll have them here. If you wanna wait another month, that's up to you.
Chairman, I make a motion that we study it for 30 days, and then, give it a good, honest look. I personally just don't feel comfortable pushing it through to the commission unless we've done our homework first. So that's my.
We have a motion, do we have a second? I don't wanna say defer or what was it, 30 days on study.
Give us 30 days to take a look at it, take an honest look at it.
Okay.
So you're gonna reach to the sheriff's office staff for your questions and information, right? So we make sure we know who's doing what.
Okay.
Right.
And then you said Robert will.
Yeah, he'll take care of it, because that's just a mechanical, technical component, it's not, I don't think this is good language, we'll just make sure it's all the same.
We get it like in a packet, we get our packet for next month.
No, well, by next month, you've got to, I assume that you want to reach to these guys and have information between now and next month. You don't want to wait and have it all dumped to you 30 days from now, do you? And stand here in front of everybody
That gives you a week,
and study.
basically a week,
Yeah.
These guys will be available to you, you can call them tomorrow and start to conversate with them and figure out what they're interested in having. And your rep or you will provide them the information they're looking for, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Would it be permissible that we send Suzanne our questions and then she gets it with Sheridan and then they get that
We
back?
can do that if you want.
Instead of us, everybody sending you things.
Sure, if you want to send questions to our office, we'd be happy to send them over there, but I mean, the sheriff's well.
Because, I mean, you know, if I send an email today and they send one next week, Tuesday
You'll
or
answer the
Thursday,
same
whatever,
question
then you'll answer the same question twice, and then if we have a day like we had today, we don't know if we can get these. And that ain't our fault, you know, so, yeah.
I'm also, I think that most likely the counties will probably already have something put together. I'm sure they have some sort of presentation put together.
That information's gonna be out there.
So if they do, you can send that tonight and start the process. I would just wanna take an honest look at it, because I'm sure that some of the concerns that I'm thinking and we're talking about are probably already addressed. Yeah, and I'm sure there's probably an FAQ document somewhere that answers all of these concerns or questions.
You can send us the link to
Yeah.
my office of the standard information that's out there for this company. And then, you look at that and then ask the question you want. If you want to send it back to us, we'll send it to them. We can be the middleman if you want, but we'll also make sure you have their correct information and you can simply start then asking, maybe more grounded questions. Is that
If
what
we
you're
get
saying?
if we get that link, then like I said, they may have already answered a lot of the questions.
Or it may help you to have other questions.
Yeah.
So we're gonna defer then a month, this will be back on the agenda next month, and doesn't mean you don't wanna defer again, but you'll have opportunity 30 days from now to act on it if you want, or defer, or ask more questions.
Yes, I think
Is
that's
we in agreement? Okay, I'm sure we're in agreement. Suzanne, you with me?
Yes.
Okay. So we have a motion in a second.
Yeah. All in favor, say aye. All right, next, Sheriff, did you have anything else? Is that-
No, that's all for me.
Next is EMA report.
I don't have anything to add to the report, however, I'm gonna talk about a couple things. I was unable to be at the last meeting last month, because I was under the weather. I think there was a question about our new building, I was gonna address that some. We've been working with, our IT department and through them, getting our communications ready for the move down there. I think we're making good progress in that, Josh, you agree?
Yes, sir.
We're also addressing, we have to have painting done and carpets cleaned. I assume or expect that to start pretty quick. We're working with our maintenance people on some quotes. We're narrowing that down. Also, some fencing that needs to be done in the process, hopefully by the end of this week, to talk to finance and get the bid process out for that. Of course, I think that takes 2 weeks.
Somewhere in there.
I don't know I'm not sure what their schedule is, how long these run, but going ahead and get that out. We've already moved some of our non-day-to-day items to the building. Been cleaning up, tossing out and things like that, so we have quite a bit to go through and move. We're using it as a clean out process too, and so when we move, we'll be ready to rock and roll. We'll be moving in the front part into our offices, so we'll be able to function from that. We need to get some of these things done before us moving in for security reasons, for equipment and things like that. So I wanted to say something about that. Also, this last week, we took possession of a new UTV side by side. We won a grant through Firehouse Subs and was gracious enough to get a UTV to help us on special events. We have to get one for TEMA every time we go to Bell Buckle, Moon Pie Festival, things like that. Now we'll have our own to be able to do what we want to. Also help with our hazmat group, or we're out on a missing persons call or something like that, some transport equipment. So we're happy to get that, and so you'll see that out in the near future at the special event coming your way. was glad to be able this past Saturday night. Commissioner Yaki invited us down to speak at Ross Community Center, and I will say that we enjoyed that. Thank you, Commissioner, for letting us do that. And I'll put it out there. I'm not sure, you might check with her, and she may tell you how good the program was. I know that we had a little covered dish supper down there, and it was good. But the rest of you, if you have communities or something, or some type of function, and you want us to come out and talk about something, we're all about doing that, and we'd be glad to. Just reach out to us and see what we can do. And I think that's all I got. Any other questions?
Back to the transitioning to the new facility, of course, it was a pre-existing facility that the state was using, but the county owned it. And so where there's functional space, they're obviously using that as is. There are some modifications that are associated with an emergency operations center, obviously, that there will be adjustments being made. But one of the first things they're staring down the barrel of is we gotta get security around the building, as you can understand with emergency operations, you've got to have security. So that's why that is going on, and that's gonna be a little bit of a ticket item, but we do have some funds associated with selling another building that can help that, so we don't impact our other revenues. And then we're on a path to then get the facility totally functioning, but there may have opportunity to transition before it's completely complete. Would you agree with that statement?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, we'll be able to move in and function before our POC issues are addressed. We have a secondary place to be able to use, which is actually the business complex. If we needed to until we get things done there at the new building. So yes, we'll be able to move in and function. Like the mayor said, it's security, and I talked to Mark about it too. It was like, man, sit down and talk to him about finding some places that we could stash some stuff, maybe if we had to, until we can get that completed. But we do have some equipment that we cannot leave outside unattended. So, also, I was going to add to the UTV thing, when we won the grant, that was a full cost paid by Firehouse Subs. No percentage we had to come up with or anything like that. That was a complete payout by them. So we're happy about that.
That's awesome. We'll probably come to the county, what you just said, the bill, and get right to it.
Well, congratulations.
Any other questions for you, Mike? Hearing none, juvenile,
Which is here, but a report.
the report's enclosed, probation.
Yeah, the report, really the only thing I have to add, other than what's on the report, is we have transitioned to ISOMs. It's been pretty smooth transition, I mean, other than learning something new, so employees, it's the exact same thing, but you gotta look here instead of there, so you gotta retrain your muscle memory, so, we are dealing with that. There are a few little things that we're asking for, enhancements into the ISOM system. Been working with Martin, which is the developer of the software, and he's consistently making a few tweaks here and there for us. So we are getting some progress on that. But otherwise,
You might want to tell them what ISOMs is. I guess you would call it correctional or
well,
court software.
it's what we share it with the jail and the sheriff's office. It's what is it called? Sheriff's Office Maintenance System is what it's, management system is what it stands for. And probation is just a little module off of, the jail for booking and the sheriff's office for, their warrants and so forth. We all share the system. I'm just a little module over here and kind of have our own processes through the system. But everything's went pretty smooth. I've been through a lot of system upgrades in my previous career. This one, I felt like went really good. So.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's where the data is all shared by all y'all.
Correct.
And you have access to certain parts where the sheriff's department has, and the jail has access to certain parts. So you don't have a set of names up here and over here and up here, it's all linked together.
So for instance, when they book someone in and create a file,
Yeah,
and that person goes to court and pleads to probation, what we do is just create our record off of what they put in. So we have the address, the date of birth, the social security, all of that pictures that we now have a record, and we can access their stuff. I believe y'all can access ours. So it's really nice to be able to, our three departments, be able to access each other's information. It's very important.
And there's some options for the court system to have some access or modules if they wanted them in the ISOMs.
Yeah, the management system has quite a few more options like CAD, and it has juvenile court systems. There's all kinds of facilities can share this program.
So there's some efficiency opportunities for the future, but we've kind of got to grow into this because the old system of ISOMs or whatever they called it was really stood independent, right? Everybody had their own module and they weren't necessarily, was your information sharing with the sheriff's office in the old?
It was, but it wasn't as clean, and it didn't have as many functions as the new one has. There's better reporting that I can pull out of the new system. Overall, you can get more information and data from this one.
any further questions for probation?
Thanks, sir.
Now we need a motion to approve the report as presented. Got a motion and a second, all in favor, say aye. Other reports for information only, anything, anything? No? New business, which, rules and legislative committee's already talked about.
That's in your commission rules, it's straight out of the rule the commission has. And so we're just dropping this on to make sure that, you comply. In the future, the body may choose to tweak this or the dates or how that will, under current rules that are approved by the county commission. This is straight out of it.
Any announcements? We've got the Christmas break coming up on December 3rd, right? December 3rd, 4 o'clock. And just so you know, all the emergency departments, city and county, we might resolve that and talk about. It's a big planning organization and planning for us to get this, because we've got this city intact. Nobody gets crossed the bridge, and nobody gets on Alaska Street, so we know what it does to show, but it is a big event, and since they kind of redone the roads around the square, we have to make sure that people pulling long trailers can get around the square without running upon the sidewalk and tearing roads up, so there'll be some new rules, and hopefully nobody has to back up.
Right.
We have looked at all those avenues, and of course, we have to have a emergency operation plan. What happens if something goes south on where our town's cut in half, so it's not just say we're gonna have a Christmas party. There's a lot of work goes into it, and then all those people that put it together and make it function. And I'll say, I don't know who did the Veterans Parade videotaping, but that's a big help for emergency services, when you can look and see where the parade is, where it ends, and kind of get our time, and I thought that was a good idea, it worked out pretty well.
It's already done. You coordinated that stuff, I'm not sure you guys.
All right, anything else?
No, I just, I don't want to say this a lot to water it down, but, I personally appreciate everybody that's represented in this report. I know I probably have a lot to say about the Tappan situation, but overall, I tell you, we wouldn't be Bedford County without our